In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to get Atari Jaguar up and running within Retroarch using the Virtual Jaguar core. Now, just as a quick note, this core is nowhere near complete yet. There are some severe compatibility issues, and Jaguar CD just doesn't work at all, so you're only going to be playing cartridge-based games, and there are a number of them that won't work, so just be aware of that. You can check out the compatibility list I'm posting in the description if you want to see if your games will work. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So you're going to need Retroarch if you don't already have it. Head over to retroarch.com, click on the Download tab, scroll on down to near the bottom here and click on Nightly Builds. Now this is a tutorial for Windows, so we're going to select Windows, x86-64, scroll all the way down to the very bottom here and download retroarch.7-zip. Now, if for whatever reason you download this, extract it, and it doesn't run, go ahead and download this redistributable.7-zip here, extract that, run that, and you should be good to go. Now that Retroarch is downloaded, go ahead and get it extracted, and make sure you put this folder where you want it to be, because if you move Retroarch after running it for the first time, it will be looking for the directory you first ran it from, and a lot of things will not work. Just to give you all a quick example here, we're going to run Retroarch. It now defaulted all the directories to my desktop, but I end up moving it, and it's still looking for the stuff on the desktop. So what we're going to do then is delete the retroarch.config file, and that's how you would start over if you happen to move it later. But save yourself the headache, put it where you want it the first time, leave it, forget it, all good. Yay. Anyways, go ahead and open up Retroarch. Press F on your keyboard to go into full screen mode. Go to the Online Updater, Core Updater, and now we're just going to be in this Atari section here, so scroll down. And we're going to download Atari Jaguar Virtual Jaguar. Now that that's downloaded, just go ahead and press backspace on your keyboard twice. And you can begin loading up your Atari Jaguar games. And there we go, Atari Jaguar games running on your PC using Virtual Jaguar. Now again, there are a number of compatibility issues when it comes to Virtual Jaguar. It is only going to be usable for select cartridge-based games. Again, check the compatibility list and see if your games that you're trying to run specifically will actually work. Just a quick example here, Wolfenstein 3D is a game that will not run under Virtual Jaguar. When you try to play it, it will just crash Retroarch. And crash. But let's go ahead and go over some of the core options here. There's really not much you need to mess with, but there is one game specifically that has a core option you will need to use, and that is Doom, the Atari Jaguar version of Doom. So when you first load up Doom, everything looks like it's going to work just great, but then the game isn't displayed at the proper resolution for gameplay. It's half the screen instead of stretching across the full thing. So if you press F1 on your keyboard to bring up your quick menu, you can scroll down to options, and there is the Doom resolution fix right there. Now there are a couple of other core options, but you're not going to mess with them. You don't want to turn on the fast blitter because that makes it so less games run. And yeah, just don't use it. You could turn on the BIOS if you have one. And then if you're playing PAL region games, you could change over to PAL. So that, I guess, those of you with PAL games, you'll want to know about that. So there we go. But that's really it as far as core options go. So check that out. Doom, Jaguar Doom running at full screen. Yay. One last thing I want to show you real quick before sending you on your way to play your compatible Atari Jaguar games is how to set up a playlist so you don't have to use this content browser every time you want to play an Atari Jaguar game. So from the main menu, go to Show Desktop menu. Press OK when that comes up. And now we're going to right click over in this area here, new playlist, type in Atari, space, Jaguar. And that gives us a nice little Atari Jaguar playlist entry here. So right click in this area, add folder, scroll to where you have your Atari Jaguar games at, select folder, core Virtual Jaguar, database Atari Jaguar. Now it has my Wolfenstein in here twice because I extracted it to see if that would help it work, but nope, the game is just incompatible, so that's fine. We're just going to delete one of those. Anyway, you can further pretty up this playlist by adding box arts. If you right click on the playlist entry, download all thumbnails, this playlist. Now the games do need to be named a specific way for them to show up. Looks like a couple of mine were, but not all of them, so it didn't like Worms. What I like to do when that happens is head on over to GameFAQs because they have a wonderful media section with user-uploaded images, including box arts, and they're usually pretty good quality. So I'm just going to go ahead and download this Jaguar box art, the front here, save it to my desktop. Now I'm going to make sure I have Worms selected there. I do, good. So we're going to grab the box art and drag it over to the box art panel over here. And now Worms has a box art to match with my other Jaguar games. And then to get this playlist to show up within Retroarch, we're just going to close it down and start it right back up. And now over on the left-hand side, we have a Jaguar playlist entry complete with Jaguar controller. That wonderful 10-key pad over there. Oh my goodness. Then you could just go ahead and select a game, press on run, and you are good to go. And that pretty much covers it as far as Atari Jaguar is concerned. Again, there are quite a few limitations with Jaguar Emulation still. A number of games do not work, and Jaguar CD just still isn't implemented within Retroarch. So be aware of those limitations when you decide to dive into the wonderful world of Jaguar Emulation. But thank you so much for watching. As always, I cannot express enough gratitude to each and every one of you for always watching these tutorials. It really helps out, so thank you so very much. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that sub button, that like-dislike button, just depending how much you like today's tutorial. And if you'd like to further help support the channel, you could always click that join button here on YouTube, or check out my Patreon link in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. I am so grateful just for the consideration. And for everyone that has already done so, thank you so incredibly much for being so generous and being my friggin' champions. You really help keep this going, and I will never be able to express enough gratitude to each and every one of you. But I can sure try, so thank you! But I think that's going to do it for today, so until next time, stay awesome, and we will see you all back next video.